Right, this clip is for all instructors or self-defense instructors that teach women. If you work with women that have been subject to a previous sexual assault or a rape crisis centre, domestic violence units, or anything else, this applies. Basically, one of the key problems if a woman has ever been sexually assaulted or raped is if she naturally capitulates, that is, that she freezes up. So she freezes up and she doesn't do anything, and obviously she gets raped. What can happen after the event in terms of impact to this already very evident psychological trauma is that she feels even worse about the event because she didn't do anything and she doesn't know why she didn't fight back. This can have a knock-on effect obviously to relationships as well. You know, a partner or a husband, it's going to be devastating for him if something like that happened to his wife. But if she didn't fight back, he'd question again, why did you let somebody do that to you? Well, the clear and plain fact is it's the way the brain works. So I'm going to show you a clip now which is from a depiction of a film, and the information that is put forth by the husband of the wife who has been allegedly raped to the sarcastic little lawyer who's saying the question to her, well, why didn't you fight back? Why didn't you resist? Is absolutely spot on. He's obviously some kind of psychologist or some expert within the field of how the brain works, and he pulls a knife to the lawyer's throat and explains how the amygdala works, as you'll see. But I think this is a very important clip to open with, if you're going to teach any ladies self-protection course, as well as to to put forth to somebody if they've been in that experience and they've already experienced the same thing of capitulation. Here's the thing: your subconscious brain will always do what's best for you as long as it has the choice. So in the event of somebody assaulting a woman, particularly taking her by surprise, throwing her on the floor, raping her, whatever else, the brain will go from cognitive to limbic. So she will go what's called middle brain or reptile brain, which basically means she will be in a fearful, adrenalized state, the heart rate will escalate, all the effects of adrenaline will kick in, one of which will be you are no longer cognitive. She will no longer be in conscious brain, which means the subconscious nature will take over. And whatever option or response to a stimuli is inside of the subconscious is what will come out. So basically, once somebody freezes, they are basically stood there in the moment waiting for the right information to come so they know what to do. But if there is no information, nothing on the hard drive, then no information will come, hence freeze, hypervigilance, capitulation, and of course the rape will take place. Your subconscious brain will always do what's the best choice for you as long as it has the choice. So if a woman has had no self-defense experience, has had no previous experience or thought about fighting back from being raped, has not practiced that in any kind of scenario sense, and has not even intensely visualized what she would do should such a thing happen to her, then no response will be on the hard drive. The subconscious will simply have no solution to the stimuli. So what it will do is the very next best thing, which at that moment makes logical sense, and that is to freeze, to capitulate. Keep still, it'll be over quickly. Don't resist, and the person will take what they want and they'll be gone and it'll be over. And that is a very natural human instinct. So if that's what happens to a woman, it's very important that you explain to your students that this is natural behaviour if there's no other such response implemented already on the disc. If you have no previous experience of the live event, no simulated experience of the live event, or no intensely visualized experience of that such event, then there will be no response. What plants the response into the subconscious is not the basic action of going through motions of studying a technique in terms of if the guy does this, you do that, in conscious brain and calm state. That's not enough, that won't work. You have to give basic fundamental skills, train them, hone them, and then take them within a scenario context where you can amp up the pressure high enough to elicit an adrenal response. so that you can trip the non-cognitive part of the brain. So you're no longer cognitive inside of a dynamic moving scenario, you will just simply be adrenalized. In a sense, your subconscious mind cannot tell the difference between a real event, a simulated event, and a highly intensely visualized event, as long as it elicits an emotional response. As long as it increases heart rate and induces adrenaline, that response will stay with the person forever. So the idea of a woman training in, let's say, our program, the Wolverine Unleashed, she will learn, obviously, soft skills, personal security, proactive physical skills, and of course reactive physical skills. And eventually those skills will be incrementally amped up in pressure so that she becomes eventually inoculated, right to the point where the student will be in normal training clothes and will be told on scenario training day to wear extra clothes over the top of them, so like a baggy sweatshirt, baggy sweatpants, and when the simulation takes place with the padded assailant, she would be literally ragged around, thrown to the floor, and the clothes would be ripped as if simulating rape. This can be done to such a high level that it will elicit an adrenal response. The woman will hit the fuck it switch, the fight switch, and fight back and implement what she has learned so far efficiently. She will be coached to fight back effectively so that she gets a demonstrable result. She effectively deals with the would-be assailant and gets to a place of safety. Now the subconscious brain has an ingrained response. It has a B plan. So A plan might be will now be fight back tooth and nail, because the subconscious brain will surmise that that's the best choice for you in the moment. But if that wasn't in place, the only other thing it can do is capitulate. So my point is, showing you this clip, if any woman kind of gets an emotional trauma after the event because she didn't fight back, if she's had no training and she's got no previous response, it's a perfectly natural response. Don't beat yourself up for it. If you have a partner that doesn't understand that, then show him this clip and make him understand. But better than that would be to get the correct training so that you can implement a better choice, and that obviously comes from training. I was just quite fascinated by this clip, the way that what they're saying is actually spot on when he talks about the amygdala. He talks about the amygdala as the alarm, the threat detecting organ in the brain. It kicks in, you are no longer cognitive, and your subconscious brain is searching your data banks for a solution, and if there isn't one, you will simply capitulate and freeze. The clear solution is to implement one so that you can fight back. There is many documented cases where women have capitulated, and of course they've been raped, and worse in some circumstances. But there's many documented cases where a woman has fought back hard, tooth and nail. So the thing is this: if a woman fears rape beyond anything else, then she will fight back tooth and nail. Now there's a chance she could still get hurt, but there's a very, very high probability she will not get raped, and there's many documented examples to prove that. If the woman fears getting hurt or injury above anything else, then she won't implement any kind of physical resistance or response, just in case she gets hurt, in which case now she will get raped. So what can you take from that? What you should take from that is you need to fear rape more than you fear getting hurt. Because if a woman gets raped, on a psychological level, on a physical level, that's emotional trauma that you're not coming back from. There's a good chance you can get infected with HIV or any number of things. It's going to destroy relationships, it's going to destroy how you feel about things, it's going to destroy everything. So you should fear rape more than you should fear getting hurt. Wounds can heal. Right? If you fight back tooth and nail, there's a good chance that you may not get hurt, and you certainly won't get raped. That would be the best case scenario. If you fight back tooth and nail, there's a chance you could get hurt, but you should prevail. And there's a bloody high probability that you won't get raped. Bottom line is, if you fight back tooth and nail, create as much fucking noise and aggression as you can muster, you will trigger that primal response in the would-be attacker. Because the two things they don't want is they don't want to get caught and they don't want to get hurt. And if you're a fucking just a tenacious banshee that's going handicap mental, no man in his logical mind wants to put his dick in a bear trap. And it's also been proven that women that do fight back and resist tooth and nail deal with the psychological trauma after the event much better than those that don't. So really it comes down to education and understanding. And that's what this, you know, this little talk and this clip is all about. Peace.
Why didn't you report the rape in the first case? If there was evidence, it's a big problem. And if there wasn't evidence, does that mean you didn't fight back? Why not? We see it the whole time. You ladies do make our job rather difficult.
What are you thinking, Lawrence? Shall I tell you what's going on in your head biologically? As a part of your brain, the amygdala is telling you to do whatever you need to do to survive. It's like a siren. Survive, survive. So loud, in fact, it's drowning out your cerebral cortex, your logical brain. Your cortex knows, I'm not going to cut your throat. Why would I do that? My family's in enough trouble as it is. But the amygdala, it's pure instinct. It feels the damage this can do. It's not like killing a peanut. You're taken by surprise, afraid for your life. We're programmed to do whatever will ensure our survival. And sometimes, that's nothing.
I think you've made your point.